Now's the time to take the starter off, I believe. Get down in there. If the fender fender liner was off, it'd be a little easier. Anyway, this heat shield's got to come off, and sort of just pulls off. You can get a look at the stuff. It has to come off first. Of course, there's no battery in it, but this will wire in this nut here, and then the main connector there. Not sure what size they are, but I'll find out. Pull the exhaust off. Forgot to get the gaskets, so there we go. Been having a little luck with the screwdriver, the back side of these spark plugs. And I'm just wasting time at the moment. It's not important. What is important is figuring out what size socket these are. Okay, it looks like a 13. Let me try something different. Little one is a 10. Okay, the big nut is a 13. Box-end wrench I would recommend, which I left my box-end wrenches in another spot, so I don't have those, so I had to improvise. And I broke it loose with this, so if yours are all rusted up, I feel for you. Alright, there we go. Tension on the cable is doing that. Connections are loose. Okay, there's the two starter bolts. They're 13. I'm gonna have to take my impact to them. Over there's the inspection cover where I can probably get the torque converter away from the flex plate. Loosening that plate right there seemed to help loosen the starter up some. 10mm bolt goes right in there. Once that plastic plate comes out, it seems to be plastic, that starter's ready to fall right down on my hands right now, or on my head. Either way, I'm going to get it out. Okay, I got a few more connections going on up in there. That one there, and then of course I got to get that one off too. And this wiring harness is also connected to the front of the oil pan, I noticed, so that's got to come off. There's a little peek up into the flywheel and the torque converter. I got to roll it around to take the torque converter bolts loose. I rolled the engine around to where I can believe I can get to the first of what I believe to be 3, and they're hex head bolts. This is what I'm looking at for the transmission bolts. These are what they look like. They're 8mm hex inside. And you have to have the wrench just exactly up in there with the socket. Now I could put an extension on it, but then I'd lose my force. So far I've not been able to brace the flywheel to keep it from turning, but I don't know that I'm going to get that lucky again. This is number 2. Yeah, I'm back up front now. The flywheel bolts are out. Did not have to hold the flywheel. I'm taking this wiring harness loose from the front of the oil pan. And you can see the socket that I have on there is a 10mm. And over on the other side over here in the dark, this end just slides off the mount. It has a plastic pin built into it, and it pulls back and slides off. I got my lifting plate almost on, 2 more bolts to go. And then I have the motor mount bolts, and then the 7 bell housing bolts. I might try and get the AC off, either when I lift it up, or maybe I'll make another attempt at it before I do the engine lift out. I'm trying to work on top here and save from having to go underneath and lower the transmission and try and put a little 2-foot extension on to get these top transmission bell housing bolts away from the engine. But anyway, here's what I got going. To get the top one, I'm able to reach in and do this. But I had to put 2 inches together because there's not enough. I've got a 15 millimeter ratchet type, something like that, of the swivel. And I left my long ones at home, so I got a short one on there, and I had to use this long offset wrench as a leverage tool to get in there to break it loose. Once it comes loose, you can unscrew it finger tight, but it's like, I think, 40-some foot-pounds on there, and it's really quite on there tight. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take that out. Okay, there it is. I did hit it with some Freol beforehand, but I don't think it did all that much good. Anyway, that's the top one, goes right there. I'm going to start down this side over here because I got some longer wrenches. I'm going to try and reach back over in there with them later, but I'm going to see if I can get this side over here for right now. The transmission jack is positioned under there. I don't really need it under there right now, but I didn't have any place else to put it, so I have, let's see, another bolt back up in there to get on this side. The dipstick tube bolt, very difficult to get to. And then I got to go back over to that side and get the other bolts. Well, guys, I got a dilemma. Clamp that's welded to the dipstick tube is keeping me from getting to the transmission bolt, and I don't want to pull the dipstick tube. Those things are very problematic, including you could break the end of it off into the transmission. So by wiggling it, try to get it out. So what I want to do is pull that brace, or whatever it is, a brace, and try and get it out of the way, and then push the tube over a little ways so I can get a socket or a box-end wrench on that nut. Okay, I've got it pried back a little bit, but it really needs to come up. So I'm going to clear that bolt, so I'm going to try the wiggle technique. I soaked it in some Freol down below where it meets the transmission. Okay, I think I got it a little bit. I think I got it. Yeah, shooting way down there, right over the top of that spark plug. I can see that it has pulled up a little. Well, there it is. I might be able to get a box end or a socket on it now. Okay, I'm going to pull the inner fender off. I didn't want to, but it's just in my way. Okay, the fender is off. I was able to get that top nut or bolt by the transmission dipstick. I did break a few of the smaller push-in connectors, but I did manage to save those. It was on this side right here. These things can go back in. They're a different type, and by this inner fender being off, there's just so much room in there. I was able to get the other bolt out of the transmission where it held the dipstick on. This interior is pretty nice, and I'm doing my best to keep it that way. So all this here is probably me and my Freol. Anyway, I don't believe the sight facing the seat is bad. Just put those right down there. And I do recommend, for what little time it'll take you to take this inner fender off, and of course this little brace for the running board, it'll save you a whole bunch of time in the long run. Look at, you can even get to the exhaust sensor down there. You can get to lots of stuff here. So yeah, inner fenders, I would take those off. Just my recommendation. Now I stripped a lug nut over on the other side, the left side. First time in my life I ever stripped one of those, but some idiot put those on at like probably 200 pounds. I don't know, they're on way more tight than they should be, I'm sure. I'll have to look it up. Those people with those impact wrenches, sometimes they get carried away. Anyway, now I got to get a socket to take the nut off that I rounded off. I didn't strip it, I just rounded the nut off. So it's on the other side. I'll probably end up taking a picture of that when I go to take it out. Oh, okay, couldn't resist. There's the nut. Just to help clarify things, I intended working on the driver's side today, and I did get the ground strap away from the cylinder head on the back, but I couldn't quite reach the bolt on the transmission. So I went back to the other side, the left side, driver's side, and I went back to the passenger side. I'm a little tired right now. And I worked on that dipstick, as you saw. So, bye for now.